Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to show you how to build your first membership site or online course landing page using Nextr and WordPress. If you are an online educator or a creator that's trying to sell a course or a subscription, we're going to show you how to build a simple and effective landing page to do that. We're going to show you how to create a sales page using the Nextr blogs to highlight key features of the course or membership, some customer testimonials and pricing, and we're going to show you how to do all that. Okay, so here we are on our dashboard, and we're just going to assume that you have installed the Nextr theme, the extension, and the blocks onto your WordPress site. Now, if you want to find out how to do that, you can go ahead and check out our other videos on the basics of Nextr. But as you're going to see in a bit, we're going to be making what you saw in the intro. So here we are on our dashboard. Let's go ahead and hover over to Pages on the left-hand sidebar, click on Add Page, and let's go ahead and name it our membership course, or let's say WA membership course. Okay, let's publish this. Okay, and then now let's go under Actions and set it as our home page. And once we enter our view page over here, you are going to see that it is blank. So we basically have a blank template here on our domain. So once we add something, okay, let's go ahead and put in a block quote here, design from scratch. Blah, blah, blah. Save that, and we're going to see that we will have something on our site. Okay, so it might take a while to save depending on your internet connection, but with that done, you'll see we now have our block quote over here that we have masterfully edited. Now, before we continue with anything, let's go ahead and click on Customize over here, and we're going to be sent over to the WordPress Customizer. Now, to save us a bunch of time in this video to manually edit and configure every single thing, we're going to want to go under Styling Colors. And then for body color, text color is going to be like this. Link color, let's go ahead and change that, right? And then hover link color, it's going to be a different color. And then for headings 1 through 6, we want to change all of these. So in a different theme, we might have wanted to go with something else. But for this one, we're going to go ahead and choose some neutral colors. And that's that. And then for typography, we can select which fonts we're going to have as our defaults, right? Times New Roman over here, Amida, Arial, and so on and so forth. So it's going to click on Publish, and the things are going to change over here. So for the body one, we can have it as Helvetica. It's going to stay that way. It's going to be easy to read. Okay, and you'll see why we wanted to set up our styling colors and our typography before we moved any further. So let's go ahead and delete this. And if you are new to WordPress, don't worry about if you're new to WordPress, don't worry about any of these buttons. We have a whole bunch of videos, a whole series of videos to get you up to speed to where we are now. And in a lot of those videos, we go ahead and explain what each part of this editor is. So this right-hand sidebar, all these buttons, all these configurations, and the block inserter. So for this one, we're just going to walk you through how to arrange everything on your site for a one-page membership course style site. And you can see, hopefully you can figure out if this is the way for you to go when you want to build your own website. And if you want to go any deeper, you can go ahead and check out our other videos or choose a completely different service. But we're going to show you how easy it is using Nextr. So let's go ahead and start off with the container over here. Let's go to Flexbox, with the down, and let's put in an advanced heading. Here, let's design from scratch. and you can see that it's very different. So let's go ahead and click on save here real quick. And then let's reload our page because we forgot to reload this after changing our colors and typography. And you should see that it will become different. There you go, from what we had originally. So let's go ahead and type in our, well, let's change our content layout style. Okay, let's go ahead and name this okay, and then we can change the layout here and there, right? We can limit the text and we can change the style. So if we wanted to, we can change the separator color to something else. We can change the separator width. The dot color, we can change that to something else as well. Right, make it green if we wanted to. For the main title, you can see the title tag over here, right? Which ones we changed it to and which we didn't, as you can see. And we can change the colors. And if we wanted to, separate from the title tag, like as you saw heading 1, 2, 3 earlier, we can go ahead and just choose a random font from wherever we want. We can also change the font size by default. So let's keep it on that. And for our container here, right, where we can go over document overview and click on here or here, and you can see it changes on this side. Let's go ahead and make it full width. Let's add a background, an image, and we'll go ahead and choose a long background image from our media library. Okay, let's load it up, and we should have some longer images over here. If we can find one that's wide enough, hopefully, maybe, there we go. Let's select this, and then we can position this center, fixed, no repeat, and that should be good. So let's click on save and see how our website looks like so far. Once that's done saving, let's go ahead and reload our site, and you can see it should be very different now. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and set up our height to minimum height, and we can change how tall we want this to be. Save that, and then see how this one looks like then. And it's going to be a constant back and forth between checking it out on the live site and checking it out on your editor over here, block editor over here. Because sometimes it doesn't appear the same here as it does on your actual website. If anything, I kind of want that to be center bottom, if it would let me do that. And let's see if that does any difference. Nope. Let's go ahead and scroll it, save, and see if it looks any better now. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and set up our minimum height as this, and our flex property as that. And let's go ahead and click on the heading here, and let's put a background on it. Background color to gray, perhaps, make it a bit lighter. Okay, and then we can leave it at that. And hopefully it's going to stand out and contrast a bit with the background, just so things look a bit nicer. And if we wanted to, we can go ahead and change the text color and font and so on and so forth. Right? We can even make it wider or smaller, you name it. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing, which is probably going to be a button. So here we are with our site here. Let's go ahead and click on Advanced Button, Design from Scratch, and let's position this in the middle. And you can see here we have a bunch of different styles to choose from. I'll probably go with this one because it looks the coolest. And let's go ahead and type this out as okay. And then we can put a link here to our sign up form or a newsletter form, and we can do that. And we have a bunch of other videos on how to make that using Nextr nonetheless. And then we can add an icon here. We can change the icon. We can put an image as the icon or not put an image at all. We can have a pop-up if we wanted to, right? Our pop-up could be a form if you didn't want to put it in a different page. And over here, let's go ahead and change the background color to maybe red, just so it's a bit easier to see. And then let's change the text color to white. Join now, right? And we'll keep the hover color just on the default one. Okay. And let's go ahead and put in a block quote here. And then there's a few different styles over here. And let's go ahead and put in our text here. You should join us because there you go. And then you can go ahead and change the font and text and so on and so forth with this, just to give our site a little something to look at. And then this is why you should join. And then now, or maybe just some flavor text to give a description to your site. And then we can put on here maybe an info box. And let's go ahead and use a container down below. And let's make it a flex box with, or maybe better if we just use a simple grid here. And we'll put in an info box. And you're going to see we have a bunch of different blocks that we can use within the Nextr free library. And you can see we can change like the info box styles, right? I'll probably go with these ones because this one looks a bit nicer. You can change the alignment. And then the icon, it's just the same. Everything is pretty self-explanatory. Let's go ahead and change the icon to something else. And safe to say that we don't need to change the text over here. Okay, so this is going to be like basic layout kind of stuff. Well, it automatically saved. So let's take a look at how it looks like so far. And hopefully it comes out together. Let's save it. And with that done, let's go ahead and take a look. And here we are. So far, so good. Now we can put another container over here. Again, it's just laying everything out, just dragging and dropping all of your information down into here. Let's go with this. And then again, another block quote here. We can copy paste our Libsyn over here, and we'll probably make it a bit shorter. And then over here, we can put an advanced image and then place in an image. And let's choose the image from our library. And let's go with this one. And then this one for our container here, our flex property. Let's put it in the middle. Save that. And then we can refresh our site over here. And you'll see it'll look very different. So again, it really depends on your branding, how you want to change the fonts and the colors. But so far, it's looking like one of those websites where, hey, it's very compelling why I would want to join or subscribe to your service. Next, let's go ahead and put in possibly a heading here, advanced heading, or probably just a simple heading. Let's center this for only Okay, and then we can change the heading here to something a bit more interesting. And if we didn't like our text, let's go ahead and change the text color here, bright red, and typography. Let's make it so much bigger. And then next we can put in a list, probably a stylish list, or possibly a pricing table. Oh, we can do that later on. Let's put in a list over here, design from scratch. Let's center everything up. And then for each list item here, check, check, check. I know it's ironic, right? You're paying for free WordPress knowledge. Okay. And let's go ahead and copy this, right? Let's duplicate it. And you can see how powerful, this isn't even part of Nextr, this is just WordPress. Let's go ahead and duplicate this as well. And then let's bring this down. Let's go ahead and change this. And then we can go ahead and copy, right? We can copy, well, we can duplicate this, and then we can drag and drop this down over here, right? Join now, what you'll learn, and then we can change whatever text this is. And last but not least, let's go ahead and add a little profile. It can be team member here, but I would prefer if we simply used a container, the Flexbox with the two over here. Or, you know what? Let's go ahead and Control Z. You can just delete this. Okay, here, and then let's go ahead and choose this. And let's add an image. Design from scratch, and then we'll put this here in the middle. And we'll go ahead and put in a heading over here. And we can put some simple text. So paragraph. And then we can disable the title. And for the paragraph, just place that in here. Okay. And then for this one, let's go ahead and type and here. And let's go ahead and choose just a simple image from our library. There we go. We'll just choose this one. It might be a bit too small. Okay, there we go. And then for this one, let's go ahead and change the typography and make it a bit smaller just to fit with everything else. Easy to read. And yeah, so let's click on save and see how this all looks like. And then maybe we can go ahead and arrange and maybe add some more blocks to our site. So let's reload this. Okay, and here we are. And okay, it didn't quite save our little join now buttons, and it didn't really save our flex properties over here. Okay, so this should look the same. Let's save that and then reload it. We might just need to clear our cache or something. Let's reload this, and it should, in theory, look like how it does. So let's delete our cache here. Okay, there we go. And all we have to do is just delete our cache and reload it. And you can see that it looks pretty good. So maybe if we wanted to like pad it out a bit more, we can add another, we can clone our container here, right? And then drop this down over here. And then we can switch over this to here, and then this. Oops. Let's see if we can do this a bit better. Here, and then this one, or might be a bit better if we just use this. Okay, this one's gonna go here, and then the block quote's gonna go over here. Okay, perfect. And let's change this image to something else, right? Like this one, right? Just stock images. And that's looking a whole lot better. Then again, we can duplicate this and then drop it down over here. And you want to have a bunch of these like scattered throughout, because as you're trying to convince your users why they should join your program or subscribe to whatever service it is you are offering, right? Like, okay, you have me sold at your description and your 3 simple features. Yeah, I'll join now. And okay, it takes a bit more convincing, right? Okay, this is how much it costs. All right, this is what I'll learn. Yeah, that'll convince me. And it might take a bit more, or it might just even be your credentials if you want to talk about who you are. And that might be where you end up convincing your potential customers to actually subscribe or buy whatever it is that you are selling, right? So it's very easy to follow. You don't need to have exactly all of these. And if you wanted to add more, you definitely could. But this is definitely something that you might be wanting to look into as a framework guide or like an outline for your own membership or online course style website. Okay, so this is Nextr free. And if you wanted to, you could just set the link of this to be a Google signup form. Or if you wanted to, you could go ahead and use Nextr's built-in form, a form builder, that is. And there's the Nextr Pro form builder, which gives you so much more features. But just as an example, let's go ahead and take a look at the Nextr form, designed from scratch, right? Simple contact form or newsletter form, or let's go ahead with a simple contact form. And you can see by default, we have first name, last name, email. Let's go ahead and add a paragraph or a description to this. So let's go ahead and give it a title. Let's call this we can change the heading for this. And once we click on here, you'll see that we have our, let's go up here to font form, excuse me. And we're going to have our content laid out like this. And we have a few styles which are pro only. It makes it very easy to have your form. And under actions, you can see we can either redirect to somewhere, right? And we can redirect them once they click submit to Google Forms or something, or the other, or your social media icons, which you also have a video on, by the way, if you wanted to add your links to your social media on this. But for instance, the default one is email. You'll put in your email over here, and whatever they type into here, let's say their name, their last name, their email, and their message, I'll click on submit, and you'll receive an email that somebody has actually inquired about your product or service or membership or whatever it is. So let's save that, and it should appear at the bottom of your website once we finish loading it all up. And with that done, let's scroll all the way down, and here we have our contact form. So here we have our information clearly laid out on our website here, right? All of our reasons and features and inspiring testimonials and whatnot. We have our price clearly laid out here. We have multiple opportunities for convincing, right? Persuading our customers to buy, but also opportunities for them to click on and actually purchase what it is. And if not, if they have any more questions, they can always go ahead and reach out to us using the form that's built into Nextr. There's other ways that you can, there's other things that you can add to this, like a header, a footer, which we also have videos on, as well as an FAQ page with accordions in case you have a lot of things or many questions that your customers may be asking you. So if you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you want to know where to get the blocks that we used in this video to make forms real simple, real easy, check out the link in the description. It'll take you to the website of Nextr where you can get the Nextr blocks yourself. Now, if you check out the pricing, they have 3 different levels: starter, professional, and studio. We recommend getting the studio one because it's a one-time payment. It's lifetime. You get all the blocks, so you don't have to worry about not having the right blocks to get what you need done. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to check out one of our other videos, or go ahead and check out our channel and subscribe to see more content like this.